Good morning, guys. It's 6:45 a.m. Today, I'll be showing you the adventurous world of accident and emergency medicine and how this basically A&E works in the UK. Because most of you guys would be, when you apply for the jobs, there are more jobs in A&E and acute medicine and stuff. So you all have these worries and myths surrounding emergency medicine, which I'll try to demystify today. So join me in the video today, and we'll have some fun. So, in regards to the organization of A&E, you would usually get the basic structure is universal throughout the UK. So now what is happening is when the ambulance comes, they have started the ambulance receiving centers, which we call as ARC. So few days you would work in the ARC. So in the ARC, basically, you've got patients, you've got to bleed them, send the bloods, get their investigations, make a decision if they need to come in or not. In similar way, you would have A&E majors. Majors is predominantly for sicker patients who might need hospitalization, who might need further management, IV medications, joint manipulations, sepsis signing, getting specialties, acute abdomen, and whatnot, basically. Then you've got minors, or they've replaced the term minors with now SDEC, same day emergency care. Few places SDEC is run by acute medicine, few places it's still run by the A&E chaps. So SDEC is basically patients are ambulatory, they're walking, but they might need some bloods, they might need some medications, investigations, some follow-ups and whatnot. Other than this, you also have pediatric emergency medicine. Few hospitals have good departments, separate departments. Few run along with the acute, the normal adult emergency services. But pediatric emergency medicine is a very, very good department to learn, guys. I think that the most worrying part for me was to deal with pediatric cases, even back home in India. But now coming here, it's given me a quite advantage. And there are also small clinics, and you can just do some procedures. For instance, someone coming in with small laceration, your nail problems, paronychia and whatnot, so you can just train them, do small procedures. Basically, you can also work in triaging, so basically sit in the front end and see which patient needs to be getting admitted, which one needs to be referred directly to other specialties and whatnot. So what I would add is no day is going to be the same. You would have your good days, you'll have your bad days, but it does give you a broader option of seeing stuff around. Yes, for the registrars, it does get slightly challenging in the night time when you've got less manpower and the people are becoming poorly. And what I forgot to add was you also have the resuscitation unit, where you've got the very poorly ones, cardiac arrests, sepsis, respiratory failures. You need NIVs, you need intubations, central lines. Most of the hospitals do have a good anesthetic and critical care team who would do help you in this, but you can still get hands on with all of these. So I think you still get a lot of variety at under the same roof, and it does give you a very good experience in dealing with things. Okay, so most of you, as I said, there is a big need of doctors in acute specialties, especially emergency medicine. So for you, most of you who are coming to the UK with not much experience in the past, those who are coming to the UK plab routes, you would find jobs in the A&E. So the reason most people think about it, whether they should do it, not do it, as I said, there are lots of myths surrounding the jobs in A&E. So what I would try to do is make a concise compilation of the pros and cons of working in A&E and give you a few tips, how to get jobs basically in the A&E. So let's talk about the advantages. It's quite fun. It's never boring. You get to see a lot of varieties. You get to see loads of people with different pathology presenting to you, something that you might have never seen before. It gives you a very broader perspective how the NHS works. So one of the consultants who took my interviews for medicine, he told me the medicine in the NHS works like the initial 25% is A&E and the acute medical services. The next 25% is the specialties. and the outpatients and stuff. The next 25% is the follow-up care, like as in the clinics and the community care. And the last 25% is the various community services that you can see, which consists of district nurses, occupational therapists, physiotherapists, and whatnot. So NHS is not just the hospital, it's a lot to do in the community, a lot to do as clinics as well. But for you to understand how the NHS basically works, A&E is a fantastic place to start. That's what I did. I started in A&E. I got to know how the basic things work, what are the various, big chunk of complaints and the symptoms that the patient would present with, especially the elderly population, which is quite high in the UK. And coming from developing nations, we might see trauma patients, we might see intoxications, we might see poisonings, but dealing with the elderly population is a very, very different field altogether. So if you know how things work, you get more confident. Plus, working in the A&E, if you're looking for applying into specialty trainings, ST1, CT1s, so you do need a CREST form. The A&E gives you a broader perspective applying the CREST form, because most of the competencies that you need to have, A&E would give you ample opportunity about it. You would have good time learning procedures in particularly joint relocations, suturings, bandaging, sedation, dealing with pediatric patients. So A&E in all is a very fun branch. I still love it despite going into medicine. But for you to make a bold decision whether you want to come into the A&E or not, you need to look about the disadvantages, or you may say slight letdowns that might be coming into your head. So if we talk about the cons, the first is the work rota pattern. So mostly if you work in the medical or surgical specialties, you would come into the wards 8:39 in the morning, finish 5:30 in the evening. Most of the days work like this, and when you're on calls, they would be sometimes. A&E on the other hand, most of the departments, most of the UK departments would have the shift patterns. You would come in the morning, in the afternoon, in the nights, some twilight shifts and whatnot. So it becomes slightly bumpy. But if you are young, if you're still in your mid-30s or something, it's very doable. It's not nothing like that should turn you off from opting into A&E jobs. Other disadvantages could be, it gets tiring. So if you work it for a very, very long time, it does get tiring. But, the way out to it is just take your breaks, don't overburden yourselves. And if you're feeling fatigued or, drained, have a chat. See, I've always emphasized on having a chat with your seniors and supervisors, your safety team, basically, so that, you don't suffer in silence, as I've told earlier. Other disadvantages could be, you get a few chronic patients who actually do not need to be in the hospital, but they come and they expect a lot from you. So saying a no, or, what to say, just assessing them for the things that could have been done in the community adds up to the frustration levels. But, that's how things are. Other than this, at times you can have a difficulty in dealing with specialties, the referrals specifically, if people are not trying, what to say, the way you want, or like for example, you want a scan and the radiology are not interested with their own reasons. I'm not saying anyone's right or wrong, but, from your perspective, you seeing the patient, you are there with the patient, so it tends to get slightly frustrating. And another thing that makes people let down is the handovers. You get loads of patients handed over to you for chasing bloods, chasing plans, chasing specialties and whatnot. So this could be a big turnout, for many. But in a nutshell, if you look for adventure, if I would bring it like this, if you want to have the feel of the NHS, how the NHS is working, A&E is an excellent place to start. Once you have known the system and yes, you've developed interests in other fields, medicine, surgery, GP, whatnot, you can always get back to your interest of field, and you can come back to A&E, work couple of shifts if possible, as extra shifts, as extra locums, like most of us do. So for you guys, if you want to enroll for A&E jobs, try looking for, if you're doing plab, basically start looking for junior clinical fellows, clinical fellow jobs. Try attending few of the emergency medicine conferences locally, organized. If you're coming from India, you can go and attend the Society for Emergency Medicine India conferences. If you're coming from Middle East, you all have your emergency medical, boards and councils and societies. Go and attend their conferences. Get ATLS. I always say the ATLS is recognized if you do it from abroad in the UK, so you need not do it again. Plus, it's quite expensive here in the UK and you don't get much slots. So do them. They're quite recognized here. Other than that, try getting few publications and all. So you would end up getting a job. And as I said, go for the job. Try to enjoy it. And if it's not for you, it's not your cup of tea, you can always switch. So the whole concept of, oh, I'm not going to take that A&E job, I think it's it's not a good idea as it's been projected. As I always say, A&E is fun. It entirely depends on how much you enjoy it. And other than this, my colleagues who have completed their membership exams, who are coming with MRChem, you can go for either specialty doctor posts, which have got a far better rota and pay. And if you want to go ahead and apply for trainings, you still have the ST3 and ST4 pathways for emergency medicine, competitive, but still there. The other thing you can opt for is getting Caesar in emergency medicine. So it gives you loads of opportunities for people thinking, oh, what could I sub-specialize further in? So you can sub-specialize in pediatrics emergency medicine, you can sub-specialize in toxicology, pre-hospital care, critical care. So there are options. It's not like, you just end up doing emergency medicine. You have the options as well. So I think I've covered it in a brief way, and yes, as I said, you've got any further queries, you can drop me a comment or email me and I'll try to help. But yes, if you're getting emergency medicine jobs, take it. In a nutshell, it's not going to harm you in any way. It will give you some experience. It will give you a broader perspective of thinking and dealing with acute things in the UK. Once you are thorough with dealing with the acutely unwell patients, you can always manage the relatively stable patients, be it in the wards, be it in the clinics. So it does give you a very, very broader perspective. So guys and girls, if you're thinking emergency medicine, don't think twice. People would discourage you, tell various things about the A&E, but working in A&E has given everyone, something to learn. And trust me, it's a very good teamwork. You work with great nurses. I would say the most sassy and sarcastic nurses and consultants, registrars, fellow SHOs, advanced clinical practitioners, nursing practitioners, all sort of specialty nurses, HCAs, porters, security guys, the receptionists, everyone, trust me, everyone is very helpful. So if you're getting turned down by thinking the specialty is not great, nah guys, it's still a very great and good specialty. Yes, it's under tremendous pressure, but things will get better hopefully. And if you're getting a job in A&E, just take it. Thank you for watching, guys. Keep sharing and keep subscribing to the channel. And if you want me to make any videos on specific things, just drop me a text below and I'll see you in the next video soon. Take care. Cheers. Bye.